Huge positive news for AEW, plus a former WWE star, a legend, has been announced for a massive debut in another promotion. We're going to talk about all that, plus so much more right here on The Ango Show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Ango Show. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We go live. We talk about Raw, NXT, Dynamite, TNA, WWE stuff, whatever it may be, fantasy booking. It's always a good time. If you're not there, you're pretty lame. You should probably pull up one of these days. It's the same time, Monday through Friday. You already know the drill. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Okay, guys, let's talk about this. Bully Ray has been announced for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and this company, brand new company, founded by Scott D'Amore. I'm going to continue covering it. I feel like Scott D'Amore has a great track record of booking wrestling shows. When it came out that he was doing Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, I was kind of excited because it seems like they're taking a little bit more of the GCW approach. Not weekly TV, but maybe monthly events or whatever it may be. Today, they announced that Bully Ray is going to be joining the company. This is really exciting. The company already has some massive names. They have Konosuke Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Mike Bailey, Athena. We know that AEW is lending talent to Scott D'Amore. We know that QT Marshall is going to be headed to the show as well. Bully Ray, obviously a huge name in the business. Some people watch him on Busted Open. Some people don't agree with him, but I do think Bully Ray is an exceptional talent, and I think it's a really good thing when you can have, legends and you can have up-and-comers on the same show. It's always a good thing. It's a great thing for the atmosphere. I have a lot of respect for Bully Ray and what he's done in his career, and just in general, like, this guy is awesome, right? Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling is something I'm super excited about. I'm really, really excited for their events coming up, for them to go live on Triller 2 nights back to back. Obviously, some big-time matchups, some first-time matchups, and you can't forget about Athena, who is somebody that I feel like is arguably one of the best women's wrestlers in the industry, and she's kind of just been wasting her time in Ring of Honor. Maybe for her, she doesn't feel like it's a waste of time, right? But I feel like as a fan, I want to see her on the biggest stage of them all. But it is cool that Tony Khan is letting talent go there. It's cool that you're seeing a lot of talent mix it up there, and obviously TNA talent are going to be there. It's really cool, man. I'm excited about it. And for me personally, I'm just ready for this event to happen. I'm really excited to see what the stage looks like and the graphics and the presentation. I feel like Scott D'Amore has already done a phenomenal job of promoting the shows. I'm hoping that the attendance and the viewership is strong. I want to see them actually grow and become something prominent. It's difficult in today's wrestling world. It's saturated. So if you're taking the best talents of the entire indie scene and, people from other TV shows, you put them together, you might be able to create some cool content. I trust Scott D'Amore. It should be really fun. Guys, Taz has been written off of AEW television, but there is a reason why. Dave Meltzer has reported that Taz was written off television due to an upcoming knee replacement surgery. It's definitely not a secret that Taz has battled, some issues with his knees. Basically, that's why he was attacked on Dynamite, and this is why Nigel McGuinness is replacing him on Dynamite for commentary. So the 3-man booth, at least temporarily, should be Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and of course Nigel McGuinness. Now, I think Nigel McGuinness is a great, suitable commentator to replace Taz. I like Taz a lot, man. I think Taz is one of the best commentators out there. I think he's a very, very good addition to the AEW commentary team. However, I do think AEW should switch it up a little bit. And I'm not saying this because it's bad, right? Like, I think Excalibur is a phenomenal commentator. But I feel like AEW just has so many commentators in the mix, and sometimes they're on, sometimes they're not. Sometimes you get Jim Ross, sometimes you don't. It would be really nice for them to really have a true identity behind who is the commentary team. And I know this isn't always the most popular opinion, but it was one of the things that I didn't like about WWE. I feel like in WWE, when they were doing 3-man commentary teams, it was just a little too much. We saw WWE get down to a 2-man commentary team, and it's been way better for the intent of like telling the stories of what's happening on TV. And if I had my own little idea of maybe who should be on commentary, I think for AEW Dynamite, I think it should be Tony Schiavone and Taz when he comes back. For now, you could do Tony Schiavone and Excalibur. And then I think for Ring of Honor for Ring of Honor, maybe that's where I would have Nigel McGuinness and Ian Riccaboni. And then I think for Collision, Collision should be Excalibur's show. I feel like Excalibur would be really good for Collision. And then, you know, when you have pay-per-views, you could do a 3 or 4 man commentary team, because that's completely fine. But I do want to see them split it up a little bit. I want to see some changes being made. I think that would be really cool for AEW to do that. As far as Taz goes, you know, he had his moment with Hook at All In. You know, just really cool stuff, man. And then you know, Grand Slam. I mean, you know, at Grand Slam they retired the FTW championship. So Taz is great. I want to see him become part of the future for AEW's commentary team. If not, you know, there's been rumors that maybe Hook could be on his way to WWE. If that was the case, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to go to WWE. But as of right now, I really love the commentary teams. The only reason why I would even suggest Taz going to commentary is if maybe Wade Barrett goes back as a full-time performer, which could be a possibility based on what they've been teasing. So definitely something to pay attention to. Speaking of some positive AEW news, guys, Tony Khan and AEW are expected to be very, very profitable in 2025. We know the new TV deal is over $555 million over 3 years, about $185 million per year. Dave Meltzer has reported that AEW is expected to be very profitable with this new deal. Look, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I feel about it. I've been saying this. When they get their new TV deal, they will be profitable. Now, you're going to have a lot of grifters and a lot of people, old-ass podcasters. They're going to be talking about AEW, and they're going to say, well, how do you know they're profitable? Look, I've never put on a wrestling show in my life. I've never booked a show. I've never produced a show. I've never paid money out of pocket for a show. I've never done anything like that, right? But based on what we've seen, what you read online, it could cost maybe $500,000 to $1 million for each event. And then you got to also factor in talent and all these other things. There's a million costs associated with it. But we are finally talking about a TV deal for AEW that is $500 million for 3 years. There's no way that Tony Khan is spending $500 million, you know, in 3 years for this company. It's just not possible. I cannot see how that would be possible. The good thing about being profitable, though, means that Tony Khan was already willing to shell out a lot of money for this company, which is something we could talk about booking. We could talk about bad business decisions. We could talk about all that. But this is a guy who was willing to put his money into it. So I am one of those guys. I believe if you have worked hard for your money and you put your money into something, you know, you want to make your money back. Tony Khan was not afraid to lose money. Tony Khan was not afraid to invest money. I think those are typically the smartest business people, right? The people that aren't afraid to risk it, which, by the way, there is a huge substantial risk with trying to do something like this. So the fact that Tony Khan's going to be profitable, I think if Tony Khan is smart, he's going to put a lot of that money invested in his talent, developing, you know, intellectual properties and whatever it may be. Don't forget, there were some bad business decisions. AEW Fight Forever was a bad business decision. But for Tony Khan, now that they're profitable, they can make up for it and maybe even use some of that money to reinvest and hopefully making AEW better. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.